In the dark shadows, in the white cold, fearlessly we search for knowledge new and old. We drink the strong spirits and read ancient tomes, the order Abracast. We are the brave and bold.
The Ages begins with the shocking story of Cain and Abel and the journey of violence and revenge spanning thousands of years, following Cain through his cursed life from an ancient invasion of malicious angels to the American Revolutionary War. A masterful, compelling journey through time, The Ages delves deep into arcane knowledge, myth, and legend. The art is stunning, and the story takes you on a journey where mortals, immortals, angels, and demons are all forced to deal with the folly that is God's creation. It's a beautifully dark and gritty ride through history. This 4-part story follows the astrological procession of the ages and how each 2,500-year age parallels major changes in the development of Earth's inhabitants. Cain's blasphemous struggle with the divine and sacred tyrant God will create and crumble empires, shape history, and cause a cosmic cataclysm.
All right, welcome to the Abracast. This is the Infinity Gauntlet Part 2. I'm John Towers. Please consider supporting the show. If you're listening to this, rate and review is a great way to do it. Patreon.com/Abracast. Again, rate and review on iTunes or wherever you catch the show. And hey, we survived moving day, everybody. Woo! The website's been redesigned. Please check out stigmatastudios.com. The podcast has a cool little page on there all by itself. So this is part 2 of the Infinity Gauntlet, where just we're getting revved up for this new Avengers movie. I wanted to take a little bit of time just to go through this original story. And since this is part 2, you should probably listen to part 1 before going any further. Okay, so yeah. What am I doing?
The Abracast. Occult. History. Conspiracy. Violence.
Alright, so starts off here with Thanos. All is right in the heavens, for Thanos possesses the 6 Infinity Gems. The universe will now be set right, made over to fit my unique view of what should be. Let nihilism reign supreme. So this is a quick kind of recap. So last episode. God Thanos just snapped his fingers and erased or blinked out half of the sentient life on the planet, or in the universe, I should say. So we're here in New York, and we're seeing airplanes falling from the sky. The Avengers are assembling to help and save the lives that they can save. We do cut to check in with the Kree, and the Kree Empire are sitting here. And just like the Skrulls earlier thought it was a Kree attack, these Kree think it reeks of Skrull treachery. Doctor Strange has enlisted the help of Hank Pym to help try to nurse the Silver Surfer back to health. And they're saying, well, is just having him sit here in the sunlight is probably the best thing that we could do for him. And Pym leaves, and he says that he's got to get to the West Coast so he can help deal with the great. They're calling it the Great Disappearance. He can help with the Great Disappearance in California with the West Coast Avengers, and he says that you'd best contact the original Avengers directly. And before he could do that, though, Doctor Strange is taken into this astral realm where he encounters this mysterious, fiery kind of this dude, and he doesn't know who this guy is. And he says, though I've never been contacted quite in this manner, who are you? And the guy says, one who may be able to save your reality from the insanity that is Thanos. But I cannot do it alone. The only hope for your universe is the banding of all the champions of righteousness under one leader, and I must be that leader. I doubt Earth's defenders will blindly follow someone who just popped up out of nowhere, Strange says. And the guy tells Strange, then your first task is to convince them otherwise. He says, you are a stranger to me, creature. One I myself see no reason to trust. And what they do is they open up their souls to one another so they know their each other's true nature. So Strange ultimately believes this character, even though he doesn't know who this guy is. So we check in another place on Earth. We check in with Dr. Doom, who's in Latveria, and he's monitoring these power signals coming from Strange's house. And he's trying to figure out what's going on with his this great disappearance as well. And Doom, of course, he can monologue like no one's business, and he says, and no one should dare tamper with what belongs to Dr. Doom. Plus, there is the fact that that great disasters of this magnitude also present a curious intellect with great opportunity, and a chance to expand my scientific knowledge and personal power. So we're back with Drax, Firelord, and Eros on Titan, and Eros disappears. Now, the mass disappearance had already happened, so they understand that it's not this is not part of the Great Disappearance. It's a separate instance. And Eros finds himself being lorded over by his brother Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet, and he is chained up in a chair, and Thanos is talking a bunch of shit to him. So he's with Thanos and Lady Death and Nebula and Mephisto. They're all still on this shrine floating in deep space, and Thanos is saying, Eros is asking Thanos about the Great Disappearance, and he's saying that their father, Mentor, had disappeared. And Thanos says, father was a dangerous man, which is why I made sure he was among the disappeared. He would have tried to abort my vision of the future, and I could not allow that. And here Eros goes, and he's trying to use his emotion-altering power on Thanos. And what Thanos does is he takes Eros's mouth away. He says, what say we see how charming you can be, Eros, without your mouth? And so it's just like he just erased the dude's mouth. And he said, that is how it shall be with all things that irritate proud Thanos. Annoyances will simply cease to be. So we're checking in with the Avengers, and they're trying to get a head count of who, out of all the half of sentient life that disappeared, how many, where is it leaving the superheroes at? So we see like a lot of the X-Men are gone, Dagger's gone, Daredevil's gone, all of the Fantastic Four are gone, a lot of Alpha Flight's gone. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of the X-Men are gone. Now, I need to bring up here that the guy that's being Thor right now is a fake Thor. He's a guy named Eric Masterson, and he has the power of Thor, but he is not Thor. So he's got to stay in contact with his hammer. It can only be out of his grasp for, I think, a minute before he will revert back to his mortal form. But nobody else knows that. He's pretending to be Thor. And he actually thinks to himself, I feel crummy doing this, but even in the midst of this chaos, I've got to cover that I'm not the original Thor. Yeah, he's saying he's got to cover the fact that he's not the original Thor. So when they're talking about the X-Men, he's like, I fought by the side of many of those who have fallen, and they shall be mourned deeply. So that leads us to Asgard. And we see Odin in Asgard, and he has assembled a team of sky gods. So he's got like Zeus from Olympus. I'm trying to think of which other ones we might have talked about. Osiris from Egypt, and Odin from the Norse mythology. And he's band together all these guys, and he's like, "Look, man, we're fighting this force. We've got to be united." And he riles all these sky gods up, and they're like, "Yes, we are with you. Let's go and fuck this guy up." So we go to this hotel room where Pip is watching Alf. Everyone's watching Alf. Pip the Troll is watching Alf, and Adam Warlock Cocoon finally opens up, and Pip's quite the character. He says, "Okay, Mr. Party Pooper, you fixed it. We can't stay here anymore. Where are we headed to now?" And we don't see Adam Warlock, but it's like bright and it's like sparkly stuff. And there's a word balloon that leads off panel that says, "After Thanos." And Pip says, "Terrific. Just what I wanted to hear." So, back to the Sancto Sanctorum. These Doom bots have subdued Doctor Strange somehow. Doctor Doom is confronting Silver Surfer. And he's blasting Silver Surfer, and he's threatening Doctor Strange. He's trying to just get all this information, and he wants to know. He wants all of the information that they have on the great disappearance and the forces behind it. And he says, "You shall speak, or I will." All of a sudden, the Doom bots get blasted, and there's more word panels or balloons leading off panel. And he says, "There is no need to threaten anyone, my good doctor. It will be my pleasure to tell you everything you wish to know." And Doom turns around, and he doesn't know who Adam Warlock is. And he says, "Intruder, who are you?" And Warlock says, "In my time, many called me Adam Warlock, and you may also if you feel so inclined." He's a man who is supposedly been killed nearly a decade ago battling Thanos. So Thanos has Eros and Nebula being like tortured by these like worm bodies, like crawling out of like through them and out of them, and it's really gross. And he can't figure out. Lady Death still isn't giving him the time of day. She's not engaging with them. She's not interacting with them. She doesn't think that this is amusing, this torturing of these mutilated people. So he lets them go. And now we get back Sancto Sanctorum. Warlock is trying to marshal everybody, get everybody on the same page, and Doctor Doom's like, hey, I should be the leader here. And Warlock reveals that he's the dude that met with Doctor Strange on the astral plane. Thanos is now torturing Nebula by unraveling her, and he's torturing Eros by like making like a cubist sculpture out of him. And Mistress Death still is not, he still is like, this, why? I strive only for your affection and approval. Cuck Thanos is really losing it. I would do anything just once to hear you speak my name aloud. Anything! And he lets loose this force, this psychic emanation that travels through space and is blowing up planets. And we see in the rubble of one of these planets is Galactus's ship. And so Galactus says, the dark god's anger and frustration are awesome in force. The psychic wave of power rises from the stellar monument of love and washes out into the ether. The first heavenly body to encounter the wave is a really, really old red giant star. Every law of nature revolts against this jewel's continued existence. In the end, it's breathtaking as it explodes, this star. Yet it is but one of many that will fall before the wrath of Thanos, the supreme being, and the universe of this universe and reality. A planet I was about to consume crumbles beneath the Titan's rage, the second banquet of which he has cheated me. Yet I keep my anger in check. I have to. We get this great shot of Galactus, and he says, for I realize that even my staggering might is nothing compared to the near infinite power that Thanos now wields. But think not that Galactus plans to turn tail and run from this upstart demigod. Galactus is a being of power and intellect. Plans must be conceived and alliances formed. Only then may I savor the cold feast of a vengeance. The readings of Thanos' destructive psychic emanations are astounding. The wave devastates nearly a quarter of the galaxy. It will only be at 2% of its peak strength when it hits that planet that Nor and Rad once talked me out of consuming. The one called Earth. So here, this wave hits Earth, and we see some stuff going down, buildings toppling. These superheroes are trying to save who they can. Wolverine in his street clothes, like his patch persona, is like saving this lady from a building falling down. And she said, "You saved our lives." And Wolverine goes, "That's right, lady. But it remains to be seen if I did you any real favor." Out in low orbit in outer space, a specially constructed Iron Man suit containing Tony Stark is floating, trying to get a reading on the energy surges and waves. He gets knocked out of orbit when his suit short circuits, and he falls. But he regains power just in time to see part of California sinking. There are millions of people in California alone, and they're all gone. We just couldn't save them, says Scarlet Witch. They're in a Quinjet. Well, we see that the psychic wave has also shook Asgard and has destroyed the Bifrost Bridge, trapping all of these sky gods there. So they are sidelined. They're not going to have anything else to do with this battle. Namor the Submariner is dealing with volcanoes that are rushing out of the Atlantic. Namorita is in Atlantic City, trying to deal with a tidal wave that it crushes. It's sinking Trump. It's sinking Trump's casino there, and Thor is zooming above the ocean, and he says it's Thor calling Avengers headquarters. You can inform Colonel Fury that the reports received about the Isles of Japan are confirmed. They are no more. They are swallowed up by the ocean. And back at Avengers Mansion, Captain America and the superheroes are all working, and Captain America says, "We're gearing up to be the comm center for paranormals who wish to help during this crisis." And we see on these computer monitors a bunch of cool guys who must have survived. Colonel Fury says, "Good word, spread the word out." So they're monitoring all this devastation. There's not really a whole lot anyone can do. And back at the Sancta Sanctorum, they're reeling from the psychic blast, this earthquake. And Adam Warlock says, "It appears everyone fared fairly well thanks to Doctor Strange hastily cast spell of protection." And Pip emerges from under a bookcase that had toppled, and he said, "What was that?" Doctor Doom says, "Obviously an earthquake." And Pip says, "Something got God teed off." And Adam Warlock looks down and he says, "Exactly." So we're back at the shrine, and the cool thing about this shrine is it keeps shifting and changing. So it's not really a shrine to death anymore, but a shrine really to Thanos himself. He's got this skull that kind of looks like it would be his skull. And he's got these fires lit going around it, and above the shrine, spelled out in planets, is his name, Thanos. And he says, "Infinite power at play, an ego gone wild, depraved creativity." And Thanos asks, "Tell me truly, Mephisto, be it or be it not art most magnificent?" He's torturing Eros now by zapping him and bending him unrealistically. And Mephisto says, "It is a masterpiece, Lord Thanos, and the monument to the cosmic wonder that is you. But I doubt this opinion is held by the inhabitants of those worlds you purloined to create this wonder." He's talking about the planets that he uses to spell out his name floating above the shrine. And Thanos says, "Their views matter not to me, but I fear, dear Thanos, that it is the view Mistress Death apparently shares. What will it take to win her heart? What?" It goes to Nick Fury again on the helicarrier, and his scientists are telling him, they're breaking the bad news to him. They're like, there wasn't just an earthquake; it actually was a force wave that knocked the planet out of orbit of the sun. And he says, "Our world is heading for a never-ending ice age." So we go back to the the Sanctus Sanctorum, and all these guys seem like they got their shit together. They're all on the same page. And Warlock says, let us be preoccupied with the business at hand. Dr. Strange, are you prepared to execute the next step in my master plan? And Strange says, I'm ready and I'm willing, so let's be off. And so he teleports Warlock, Strange, Surfer, Doctor Doom to the Avengers headquarters. And they're all like, is that Adam Warlock? I don't know if that's Adam Warlock. Is that Adam Warlock? What the fuck is Doctor Doom being here? So they're trying to get there. Now they're introducing this situation to these Avengers. And Adam Warlock says this, the mission brings us here. And that's the rate we're raising an army. And Strange starts to cast a spell. And it's like a portal spell. And he says, I call upon you to aid the struggle of this poor, tortured world suffers. Your skills and powers are gravely needed. And through the portal walks Iron Man. And he says, then Iron Man will just have to answer that call. And the next through the portal is Spider-Man. And he says, count your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in too. And still others join the cause. Wolverine, the fierce mutant known as Wolverine, the dull-witted yet powerful Drax the Destroyer, the one-time herald of Galactus and the space traveler Firelord, Nova of the New Warriors, the regal and mighty Prince Namor, the Submariner, and the dark and foreboding Cloak. X-Factor's mutant leader Cyclops and the mutant mystic Scarlet the Witch. All join the cause. The one person that they need that does not join the cause, however, is the Hulk. Apparently he's infighting with the Avengers. So they're like, come on, let bygones be bygones. Let's just go. So he eventually agrees to join. So the Hulk's on board. So as they're talking, they're getting ready, they're talking about their plans or whatnot and what they need to do. Every step of the way, Dr. Doom challenges Adam Warlock. Captain America is tired of it. He says, like it or not, Doom, Latveria's only got one chance for survival, and it's Adam Warlock. Deep, deep down, you know that. So what say you? Are you in or out? And Doom says, very well, Captain, in for now. So we get more stuff about, New York burning, the world's burning, and Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock go. They Strange casts another teleportation thing, and they go. And they go to a meeting in deep space with all of these cosmic god type concept characters that I told you about in the last episode. So who's there? Who are we dealing with? We have the astral deities of the universe. There's Eternity, the embodiment of all there is. Kronos, the Titan god of time. The Uatu, the mysterious watcher. Lord Chaos and Master Order, the galactic balance. The powerful and enigmatic stranger. The mysterious embodiments of love and hate. The living tribunal, the cosmic judge of all realities. The mighty destroyer of worlds, Galactus. And just to sweeten it up, they put two giant celestials in there as well. And so the matter at hand, these guys do not mince words. They don't waste time. The matter at hand, Eternity just starts talking. And he says, I, Eternity, am the actuality that Thanos strives to usurp. I come seeking judgment from the one being I consider a peer. And the Living Tribunal says, and so the Living Tribunal stands present at Eternity's request to hear his case. Eternity says, the mad Titan seeks to unbalance that which is throw the nature of the universe into a maniacal entropy. And Tribunal stops him, and he says, I have considered the matter and cannot concur. Thanos only strives to replace your importance in the universe with his own. Natural selection is one of the universe's oldest canons. The strong replace the weak. It is as it should be, and no cosmic crime is being committed. The living tribunal shall not become involved in this matter. And he disappears. And Eternity also disappears. He's like, you know what? Fuck all this. I'm out. So Warlock's job becomes to rally and convince these other cosmic deities to sort of to join the fight. And Uatu, the Watcher, says, numbers I cannot be counted among, Adam Warlock. I remain a watcher, and I'm here only to observe and record. So the Watcher is like, nope. Galactus is like, I am not taking orders from a golden space Jesus. And he blasts Warlock. Warlock with his eye beams, but Warlock survives. And he says, just a yammering mortal who knows that naked power is seldom the answer to any problem. Surely you must realize that even this group's combined might is nothing compared to the force Thanos wields. Only a richly complex and skillfully executed strategy will ensure your survival. Time is short, and I have such a plan. So eventually the remaining of these cosmic deities get on board. We're back at the Avengers mansion. Everybody's freaking out because Doctor Doom's being a dick. Doctor Doom's being a jerk. But Adam Warlock shows back up. He shows back up, and they're almost ready to go. He says that he has to speak to the mutant known as Wolverine, and then they can go. So while he's finding Wolverine, the Wolverine is with the Hulk. While that's going on, Mephisto, Thanos, they're at the shrine, and they notice that Uatu the Watcher is there. And Mephisto says, how long has he been hovering there? Thanos says, only a few moments. But the Watcher's coming heralds the beginning of hostilities. Fools taking up arms against omnipotence, they rush headlong into Armageddon. So I shall provide them with the most glorious doomsday. The heavens will run red with blood. But in the end, as always, Thanos will stand triumphant. So it's Wolverine and the Hulk. They're having a bromancy kind of moment here. And Adam Warlock shows up. And he's like, hey, I got to talk to you guys. Hold on. Let's get into their conversation a little bit. So Hulk and Wolverine are sitting here. And he's like, they fight all the time. They're always fighting each other. And the Hulk says, I've come to the conclusion that I like you. He said, you fight someone, you get to know them pretty well. And I like you, Shorty. And Wolverine's like, why is that? And he goes, because in our own ways, we're both monsters, pal. And Warlock shows up, and he's like, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. He's like, we got a bunch of dudes on our team who are very moral. He's like, he doesn't say it like that, but he was like, they don't understand what's going on. And sometimes extreme measures may be called with dealing with Thanos. And what Warlock says to Hulk and Wolverine is, if you guys get a chance to kill him, do not hesitate. So that's kind of where that's kind of where we're going for. And Thanos is on the platform still. He's in the shrine. He still can't get Lady Death or Mistress Death to talk to him. So he creates a girlfriend. Cook Thanos does like a high school boy trick. He's going to try to make Mistress Death jealous. So he basically creates a female version of himself. Taraxia the Terrible. And he starts hugging up with her, and he was like, her touch is warm and her devotion to me is total. She is the balm to soothe the ache within my heart, and I no longer have any need of you. And Mistress Death walks away. And as she's walking away, you can see Thanos turning to her to see if it's working, and it's not. And he's so pissed. He says, let there be cosmic warfare, and let the blood and entrails of my opponents scrub away my pain and sorrow. Defenders, time is upon us. Oh, wait, hold on. I shouldn't have said that in my Thanos voice. Back at the Avengers mansion, they say, Defenders, the time is upon us. I don't know why they switched to calling them Defenders here, because this is the one time where they can actually be called the Avengers, because they're avenging the death of half the universe. But they don't. They switch it to defending, which is silly because Thanos isn't invading Earth. They're not defending Earth. They're avenging this crazy act that was done. Anyhow, they're getting ready to go to war. Adam Warlock is going through the last of the preparations. He's making sure everyone understands what they're doing, who they're doing it to. He's saying that Doctor Strange is going to teleport us all there. But before we go, he's also going to cast a spell that's going to let the superheroes breathe in outer space for 60 minutes. And he says he and Silver Surfer are going first. So they go through the portal first, and the Surfer's totally confused. He's like, where are we? And Warlock says, we're a little bit more than a light year away from Thanos' current position. He should be off in that direction. And Silver Surfer is using his power cosmic. And he says, yes, I can see him. He's looking our way. And Surfer's having a meltdown. He's having a problem because he's like, I'm strong. I am very powerful, and I should be part of this coming battle. And Warlock is like, you will be at the right moment. Right now, you need to hang back. And Surfer still doesn't understand. And he says, but our allies will need my power during the initial assault. And Warlock starts breaking the news to him. He says, you still not truly comprehend our situation. Surfer says, perhaps not. There appears to be much that you are hesitant in sharing with your comrades. Warlock says, Thanos controls all aspects of time, reality, space, power, soul, and the mind. He quite literally commands all there is. So here we go. Pip's starting the timer. You got 60. On your mark, get ready, go. And the superheroes jump through the porthole, about to start the assault. Thanos is here. He's ready for him. The shrine is there. Eros is there. Mephisto is there. Death is there watching. All the superheroes are there. Shit is about to get real for these guys. And poor Namor is just floating through space in his underpants. What the fuck is that all about? How much time we got? Oh, okay. So we're going to move into issue 4, the Infinity Gauntlet, issue 4. This is the iconic one with Thanos standing in outer space with the planets and stars and shit behind him, and he's saying, come and get me. So the superhero is all charged. Thor throws his hammer, Iron Man shoots a repulsor beam, Fire Lord shoots his fire stick at him, and Namor charges him. He failed to do the wings on Namor's ankles here. And there. Does he have him? He doesn't have him anymore? I don't know. I can't get into this right now. So Thanos snaps his fingers and stops time. Power is one thing that Thanos has in abundance, and he snaps his fingers and everything stops. Mjolnir is about 2 feet away from him. The fire blast, the repulsor beams, Namor They're all just frozen. The power to freeze Earth's defenders in time. It appears this conflict will not live up to its expectations. Cosmic battle on the edge of the universe. So, Mephisto's team, or his entourage, yeah, that's what it says. Of course, Thanos has spared his entourage the indignity of being ripped loose from the time flow. Mephisto, Mistress Death, Nebula, Charaxia, and Eros, who's narrating this section. They're all still able to move through time, where all of the heroes are stuck. Even the enigmatic Watcher was spared. What use is godhood if you have no audience to flaunt it before? So Thanos is like, he was like, these are the best. These scrubs are the best. They could gather to fight me. He was like, but with a thought, I could terminate their annoying existence. And Mephisto's like, hey, wait a minute. He's like, there are two others that you might wish to include in your thoughts, my lord. And Thanos is looking, and he sees Surfer and Adam Warlock. And he says, my one-time comrade, Adam Warlock, returned to plague me in a new body. And they seem to be the only two entities in the galaxy intelligent enough to not challenge my omnipotence. Still, they should be dispatched with the rest. And he starts warming up the Infinity Gauntlet. He's warming it up, and Mephisto bends his ear, and he says, my lord, Thanos, stay thy hand. The unseemly interruption may just be opportunity disguised. And he says, speak your mind, Mephisto. And Mephisto lays out this idea. He says, you have power without limit. Yet still you fail to win Mistress Death's heart. These buffoons may prove useful in changing that situation. How so? Thanos asks, and he says, courage, my liege. All female hearts, even ones as cold as death, are warmed by the sight of raw courage. Courage such as exhibited in battle. But such bravery only exists when one faces the prospect of defeat. Meeting that standard would require balancing the terms of the battle so these fools stood a chance in victory. Something not beyond your ability to arrange. And Thanos sees, and he says, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. He says, yes, I can do it. I need only to cut myself off from all sensory input from the time, space, reality, thought, and the soul. I would retain limitless power, yet not know my enemy's next move. That would allow them a 0.05% chance for victory. Not the greatest odds in the universe, but perhaps good enough to impress Mistress Death. And Eros is tripping. He's like, what game is Mephisto playing here? It was the most subtly done, but that devil just saved the lives of Earth's heroes and engineered a possibility of Thanos' defeat. The master of deceit is playing upon the confusion Thanos is experiencing, adjusting to his newly elevated state of being. It seems the forces of life have a most unlikely comrade. And the shadow falls over Eros. And he says, who? And it's just pointing out that Nebula is still there, just kind of like ambling around the shrine. She's got her one eye is trained on Thanos. Thanos is addressing Mistress Death, and he says, and so prepare to witness cosmic warfare never before seen under these stars, Mistress. My diminished capacity now turns this conflict into a true test of nerves and battle skills. Mephisto, a masterful plan, sire. I do believe I saw a gleam in Mistress Death's eye. And Thanos looks up to all these frozen heroes, and obviously he's moved since they were frozen. So all the blasting and Namor and Mjolnir that were flying right towards him, they're all like upstairs now. He's far below. So he's already, you'll see here that Thanos cheats. He's saying that he's going to block off the different the different stones. Maybe he's saying that he's just blocking off their prescient abilities. Like, he won't know what's in their hearts, or he won't know what's in their minds, because he totally keeps accessing some of these stones when he's doing battle. I'll point them out as we go. So he's far under where he was at this time. The heroes and everyone are still frozen in time. And Thanos says, "Then let that gleam be fanned to a roaring flame, and let the battle begin." And he snaps his fingers, and the repulsor beams hit nothing. Mjolnir hits nothing. Fire Lord's fire sticky thing hits nothing. And finally, Namor just crashes into the shrine. He doesn't have the wings on his feet here, too. Maybe he doesn't have them anymore. Or at least when this was happening. I didn't know that. Behind Thanos, Drax the Destroyer and the Hulk work in tandem to blast Thanos. And again, Star Fox or Space Fox, whatever his fucking name is, this Eros guy with no mouth, says, "Then the unbelievable occurs." And they punt. They're just destroying Thanos. He says, "Drax the Destroyer and the monstrous Hulk take Thanos by surprise. He truly has dampened his cosmic senses. Thanos is actually playing by the rules. How out of character. Love of godhood truly has befuddled his reason." So Hulk and Drax just start curb stomping him, and Thanos gets out of it. He's going mano to mano with the Hulk, but then he uses his stone and he grows to like a giant size and swats the Hulk. And cuts to some more of the heroes, and Steve Rogers is like, "It looks like we've got Thanos confused. Pour on the power and follow the plan." So the rest of the heroes go into action, and Adam Warlock and Surfer are watching from afar. Remember, they're like more than a light year away from the actual battle. And Warlock says, "How goes the battle?" And Surfer says, "As expected. I should be with my friends fighting by their side." And Warlock says, "That would be utter folly." And Surfer asks why. And he goes, "Because you have a major role to play in this game, which is all in due time, Surfer. What you don't know, Thanos won't stumble upon." And he says, "Doesn't that risk exist with him reading your mind as well?" And Warlock goes, "No, Thanos knows me. He'll not risk such a distraction while in the midst of battle." And we are in the midst of battle. He kills She-Hulky and Namor. He gets blasted with Mjolnir. And it puts him on his ass. And while he's on his ass, Dr. Doom tries to get the glove off of him. He tries to get the Infinity Gauntlet off of him. He gets blasted. Thor tees up Mjolnir again, and he throws it. And here we go. Here's Thanos cheating. He opens up a portal, a teleportation portal, and teleports Mjolnir who knows where. But here's Eric Masterson, the fake Thor now, without his hammer, and he realizes that if he doesn't get it soon, he's going to revert back to his mortal form. So he starts piling on Thanos, and Fire Lord is blasting Thanos, and Wolverine sees his opportunity, and he delivers what would be a straight up death blow, all six snickety snicks right into his chest. And Thanos is mad as shit, and what he does is he turns Wolverine's adamantium bones into rubber. And here he is. If he's not dead, he's not long for this world. He's just folded up he looks like just a dirty laundry. Eternity shows itself to Adam Warlock, and he says, "We grow restless and wish to join the battle." Warlock says, "Not yet. Now be gone before Thanos senses your presence." And Silver Surfer's like, "Dude, have a little bit of respect. That's the mighty Eternity you're speaking to." And Warlock says, it's just another piece of the game board as far as I'm concerned." And he explains that Surfer's like, "A game? That's all that this is to you?" And Warlock explains, if I allowed it to be any more than that, I could not go on. Because he realized he's just sacrificing these heroes. He kills the Scarlet Witch. Scott Summers, Cyclops, gets a good blast on him. And Iron Man blasts him pretty good. Iron Man's tackled by Taraxia, and she actually goes on to rip his head off. She decapitates him with her bare fucking hands. It's great. Thanos uses the Infinity Gauntlet to create a block of force around Cyclops. So I don't know what the magic spell that Strange casts that allows them to breathe in the vacuum of space. I don't know what that is compared to him not being able to breathe within this block of force field, but whatever it is, it kills Scott Summers. He dies. Captain America's trying to save him, and he's like clanking his shield on the force block, trying to break it. Thanos then turns his attention to Vision, kills Vision. Eric Masterson is trying to find Mjolnir, and he reverts. Thor reverts to Eric Masterson, and the spell about breathing in space only works on the Thor form and not his mortal form. So he's dying. Thanos is just he's wrecking everybody. And Eros is watching this all. And he's kind of saying what he feels about each person. And he says, Mistress Death knows this, and I can see it in her eyes. She has no doubt of this conflict's outcome. No battle is this, just slaughter to feed an already oversized ego. And then he starts looking at Nebula, who, like I said, is just wandering around. She's just this husk, this zombified husk of Nebula. And he says, the only person not fascinated by this outrage is my grandniece, poor Nebula, for her shattered body and mind are beyond all caring. She is but another twisted creation of Thanos' black soul and infinite power. He made her the charred caricature on the brink she is now. She would be far better off dead. But still, dreams refuse to die. And Masterson finds the hammer, and he turns back into Thor, saving his life. The two heavy hitters that Thanos is dealing with right now are Firelord and Drax, which he opens up a time portal and sends them back into the prehistoric era. I don't know what planet, but it's like there's dinosaurs and stuff. Taraxia presents Iron Man's head to him. And Spider-Man attacks. He's setting Thanos up for an attack by Thor, and which works out pretty good. The hammer hits Thanos, and Taraxia attacks Spider-Man. She actually grabs a rock from the part of the masonry of the shrine and beats Spider-Man to death with this rock. And Thanos uses the Infinity Gauntlet to turn Thor into a glass statue. All is lost. A grim, bottomless acceptance of our fate claims me. Thanos is inevitable. All light is lost. All that there is left are tears. He turns one dude into a pile of Legos, and he uses the Infinity Gauntlet to shatter the glass Thor. He melts another guy's hands. He has quasars powered by these negabands, and he melts the negabands. And he's just surrounded by these dead heroes. And Thanos, he's surrounded by these dead heroes. And all that's left from this charge of superheroes is Captain America. And Captain America says, it's not over till the fat lady sings, Thanos. Thanos says, surely you jest. never been any good at stand-up routines. Thanos says, or organizing a cosmic assault, I see. And Roger says, we tried. So back a light year away, where Silver Surfer and Adam Warlock are, Warlock says, ready yourself. Silver Surfer's like, now? And he goes, on my call. And Captain America just struts up to Thanos, and he's standing face to face with him. And he says, as long as one man stands against you, Thanos, you will never be able to claim victory. Thanos looks down at him, and he says, noble sentiments from one who is about to die. And Surfer's like, Thanos is going to kill him. And Warlock's telling him, you got to wait. And Captain America says, I've lived my life by these sentiments. This is my favorite part of this whole book. Thanos swings at him, and Captain America is stuck. The part of the shrine has come to life and has snared his feet. And Thanos swings at him again and destroys his shield. And he says, you then die you shall. Oh, wait. Roger says, I've lived my life by these sentiments, and they're worth dying for. And Thanos shatters the Captain America's shield, and he says, then you shall die. Thanos is always pleased to honor such foolish requests. And he cocks back to punch Captain America, and Adam Warlock tells Surfer, now. Surfer zooms, using his power cosmic to fly. Very super fast. He becomes a blur of light streaking towards this shrine. Thanos is mid-punch. Captain America's just standing there. He's going to take it like a man. Silver Surfer reaches out for the gauntlet, and Thanos... the Surfer misses his mark, and Thanos retains his godhood. The echoes of the failed plan and good intentions wasted in futile acts. Nothing remains of hope. And Captain America sees his opportunity and just punches Thanos right in the face. Nothing remains but sweet oblivion and an end to this nightmare. And Thanos realizes what's going on, and he says, what am I doing? I must have been out of my mind. And he turns around and just swats Captain America and kills him. Bam! And he says, they came so close. I nearly lost it all. Let me once again be all that I can be and will myself back to full power. So he's standing there just surrounded by rubble and dead bodies. And he says, I wish this battlefield to be cleared of remnants, the folly I nearly allowed, for I sense a far greater struggle about to begin. And Warlock is there, and he says, we tried to do this the easy way, and we failed. It may well prove to be a battle the universe cannot survive. Eternity, it's now your turn. And above the shrine are the cosmic deities. Let's see who we got. We got the Stranger. We got Chaos and Order, Love and Hate. Uatu, the Watcher, still standing there. He's not part of the battle though. He's just watching. Let's see. Kronos, the Titan Lord of Time, is there. And so they're all standing there. And the next it says, hold on, wait a minute. Let's see. Despite my best efforts, I cannot shut my eyes to the awesome sight no mortal was ever meant to see. Armageddon commences in but seconds, and I have a front row seat for the event. I pray my end comes quickly, for the universe is about to become a place I no longer wish to be a part of. The next section is called Astral Conflagration. So we're going to end there. We're going to get into the last two issues in the next episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please rate and review on iTunes. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Abercast. Check out the redesigned website, stigmatastudios.com. Find me on social media. All of this stuff. You know what I'm saying.
And begin a siege to break the golden apple of Europe. Vienna, 1683. Today is September 11th, 1683. The mighty army of the Ottoman Empire, led by the savage and radical terror troops of the Dar al-Harb, surround the walled city of Vienna and begin a siege to break the golden apple of Europe and kill, enslave, or convert all of its inhabitants. The valiant citizens stand against the tyrannical army with the steadfast leadership of Count Ernst Rudiger von Stromberg, the help of the ever-living rebel Cyrus the Dead Guy, and the hopes of the faraway King Jan Sobieski III and his army of flying hussars. The Vienna 1683 comic is available right now from Stigmata Studios at stigmatastudios.com and on indieplanet.us. The Non-Standard Squad, 1944. World War II. 3 weird American soldiers are on a search and rescue mission into the oldest and darkest regions of Europe. A cursed, ever-living warrior, Cyrus the Dead Guy. An experimental warbot, Sergeant Lane McCord. An all-red axe, mysterious rogue with a demon-possessed arm come face-to-face with an army of magically corrupted machine-obsessed elves, a magic hammer-wielding Norse Ubermensch, and a Nazi wizard who is a member of the ancient Dark Order of the Shining Hexagon. The Non-Standard Squad 1944 comic is available right now from Stigmata Studios at stigmatastudios.com and on indieplanet.us.